Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Call of Dragons, we're going to check out the latest Q&A, number 21. And there's a bunch of questions in here we got to go through, including passport costs, among other things getting reviewed, so let's get after it. For the honorary membership daily gift, we have to select tokens for a particular hero. So this is the VIP, right? But sometimes particular tokens cannot meet my demand. Could we switch to universal hero tokens instead? This would be great. You know, it's kind of the same team that works on Rise of Kingdoms as well. And they do universal tokens in Rise of Kingdoms, which is really, 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 really nice. So what do they say? To provide you with more flexible progression, we will adjust the hero tokens available from some mechanics, including honorary membership daily gifts, VIP. In version 1.0.43, the hero tokens obtained from daily gifts will be changed to universal W. So you will never have to claim a particular token only for heroes you already have. In addition, the reward for certain other events and gameplay mechanics will be changed from generation-specific hero tokens to universal hero tokens. Absolute W. This is a W. Right off rip. Love to see it. Too many players migrated out of some realms mid-season. So we hope to see some restrictions placed on migration. Wow. So if you've seen my thoughts on this for Rise of Kingdoms, you know that I am a savage. If you leave mid-season, I think you should have a trader debuff. And I think that you should have minus, 3,000% training speed. I mean, I would just go all in on disincentivizing mid-season departures because, how do you make a good match for a course of a season? Well, you need to know who's going to be battling, and that means that at some point you have to stop migration in, and at some point you have to stop migration out too. Otherwise, mid-season migrations mess things up, right? So when the new season first started, we noticed some players decided to leave their realm and migrate to another one in order to regroup. Regroup. What do they mean here? Like, you're not going to regroup and then fight again in that season you left. But I guess they mean they just migrate, whatever. This has had a negative impact on players that decided to remain in their home realms. We hope that in the future, such regrouping can be finished before the new season starts. Oh, so are they saying that people planned to leave already, but had queued up for the season and then just leave or something? I don't know. To improve the mid-season combat experience, we'll adjust the number of migration permits required for mid-season migrations. If a player migrates during the first 21 days of the season, the cost will be increased by 50%. Oh, get wrecked! 100%. I'm on board for wrecking people that migrate mid-season. If a player migrates after the season finishes, it'll cost 10. If a player migrates on day one of a new season, it'll cost 15. I think they should go further. I think they should increase the cost more if you're migrating mid-season and decrease the cost if you are migrating in the appropriate migration timeline, my opinion. But I also think that increasing the cost is really just not a sufficient penalty. You still can leave mid-season. I think it should not be possible. I get that people want to play where they want to play and with the way the system works today, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But look, if you want good matchmaking, you got to be really sure about who's going in and who's actually staying. Why not make it so that 100% of who went in is actually staying? My opinion. I get that they could just sit there and pout and not fight. I also think, if somebody pouts and doesn't fight, you can take a sissy debuff. Minus 3,000,000% training speed. I'm a savage about it, man. I really am. This is a team game. But the thing is that I sound like an asshole when I say stuff like that. But the reality is that the game's better for literally everybody when matchmaking is good. So how do you make matchmaking good? You have to know who's there. All right. Right now in Alliance Mobilization, we can't cancel quests we've selected by accident. It's also too difficult to refresh the quests we actually want to do. Yeah, typically in this genre of game, it's too bad, so sad, sucks to suck if you pick the wrong quest. I have done this, especially when I'm refreshing quests. Maybe not in this game, but whatever, you get the idea. Regarding the current inability to cancel quests you've accepted accidentally, we'll fix it. W devs. I actually have never seen that done in this genre of game. Funny enough, it's such a simple thing, but obviously sometimes you take the wrong quest. After canceling, you won't be able to accept that quest again. Fine, right? As long as it doesn't use up the quest attempt, which is what it's saying. To improve your quest experience further, improve my experience. For future patches will introduce personal quests. Yeah, we have something like this coming to Rise of Kingdoms, where you get special tickets and you do your own personal quests as well. I'm a little confused how it's going to work, and it's not in game, but look out for that Rise of Kingdoms video when it arrives, and you can go check that out and see what it looks like in advance of it coming here. Right now, each alliance can build a single bastion, which means by the end, the battle lines are deadlocked with too many bastions. Yeah, bastions sure do gum things up. Thanks for the feedback. We also noticed that the season, as it progresses, more and more realms have to prepare extra alliances in their home realms in order to access more siege bastions. Yeah, I don't think it's good for the game state, this is just my opinion, that like one alliance in a kingdom has to manage like 6 gazillion shells. That's how it works right now. More shells is always just better. There's no downside to more shells other than the level of effort that goes into managing all the different shells. This not only makes the gameplay more troublesome for alliance officers and members, but also creates serious strategic problems across the season, as a single realm must set up territories for multiple alliances inside the same area. Therefore, we plan to adjust this mechanic by setting an upper limit on the number of siege bastions that can be built by alliances and realms in the starting region each season. Upper limit on the siege bastions. Yeah, I think that's good. There's just too many. And more is always better. So bounding it is a great starting point. This will prevent players from abusing siege bastions while also allowing a single alliance to build multiple alliance siege bastions, thus reducing the workload of alliance members. Wait, did I misread that? Are they making it so that an alliance can have more than one siege bastion? And then it's just capped for your entire realm? Because that would be a W. The specific rules are still in development. Okay. Since this change will significantly impact seasonal strategies and planning, we'll proceed cautiously when implementing adjustments. Please stay tuned. Yeah. Look, bastions and weirdness of bastions have won and lost entire seasons, in my opinion. So it's great they're putting attention to this. The strategic world map has an impressionistic style, which makes precise planning difficult. We have to lower the camera to its lowest setting to view things properly. Okay, thanks for the feedback. To improve your overall strategic planning, we will introduce a new, more zoomed out view, which will be accessible simply by continuing to zoom out from the highest zoom level. And in this new view, you'll be able to see the wider map area, while certain strategic details like trees will be hidden. You'll have a clear view of strategic elements like mountains, bridges, passes, and allows alliances to plan routes more precisely and make better informed strategic decisions. Cool. In Rise of Kingdoms, they just added the way to like make arrow markers. So like literally it would be as though I like zoomed all the way out and like drew an arrow going in the exact route that you were trying to go. I'm just moving my mouse somewhere as an example, but like, yeah, I think the ability to do that, I don't know, they're saying impressionistic. This is a problem. I'm not quite understanding the problem, but yeah, I'm not actually tracking what the problem was that they're complaining about here. It's impressionistic. I mean, I guess anything that makes someone feel like they can plan better is a W. We have to lower the camera to its lowest settings to view things properly. Maybe there's just too much clutter when you're all zoomed out. I'm so glad I don't have to do the planning. Right now, the Alliance bounty feature does not distinguish between unit types and levels in completed bounties, which prevents infantry players from being rewarded for their contributions on the battlefield. And some players can exploit the system to get rewards. Ooh, the bounty system's neat. Thanks for your enthusiasm toward this feature. Since we first launched the Alliance bounty system, we've received lots of feedback, and after reviewing and discussing, we've decided to implement the following adjustments. 1, added the ability to set restrictions on the unit types and levels in the Alliance bounties related to merit, losses, resource healing, and allowing for more precise quest management. Increase the reward ratio for bounties related to Alliance building, construction, or destruction, allowing members to participate to earn more rewards. It is funny that we have to put extrinsic rewards on these things that are critical to the goals of the season, but here we go. Adjust the probability for Alliance members to continue... Oh no. Adjust the probability for Alliance members to contribute mana when donating battle supplies during daily activities. The higher the city level, the greater the chance that the supplies it produces will be mana. W. This change will reduce the effectiveness of using alternate accounts to produce mana. Add a mid-season summary and late-season summary rewards, including an appropriate amount of dragon coins to encourage alliances to do their best throughout the entire season. Cool. All right. Q7. The late game experience in Battle Abyss is awful. Enemies often hide at their spawn point and use buffs to earn merits unfairly. I do feel like there is a lot of room to, I don't know, matchmaking for something like this is just so tough. You want this to be a consistently good experience. What do they say? Thanks for your feedback. The original purpose of the safe zones and starting areas was to give the weaker side an opportunity to regroup and recover, preventing one side from being totally overwhelmed to the point that they can't leave their base. Yeah, that makes sense. However, we've noticed that something different is happening. Therefore, we plan to make an adjustment in a future update, removing the buffs from the safe zones in order to protect weaker players and give them a chance to regroup. We'll also consider making legions inside the safe zones invulnerable to damage. This would encourage players to allow them to have a more fair... Okay, great. I mean, it sounds like they're solving it. I haven't actually encountered this, but I am not typically trying to earn my merits from Battle Abyss. I try to earn them from actually fighting in season, but out of season, you do Battle Abyss, whatever. Battle reports seem cluttered, making it difficult to locate key info. I can compare the numerical differences in buffs, but I can't really tell what the differences are between my forces and the enemies, making it hard for me to understand what I should do to boost the effectiveness of my legion. What an interesting question. Battle logs are so complex just because there's so much information. How will they solve this? Thanks for your feedback. We've been gathering player feedback regarding battle reports, and we see the value of this suggestion. In the near future, we plan to implement the following: an analysis of buff sources to identify which systems provide persistent boosts, allowing you to improve your power in a more targeted way. Neat. Added a battle report summary, allowing players to view the losses in heroes, war pets, and artifacts more clearly across a series of complex battles. Very interesting. I'm all for things that will help you optimize your stuff. A few of our small alliances teamed up to defeat our opponents and get a KvK victory. But since we don't have many people, it's hard to gather enough players at the same time to beat the final dragon. This often means that nobody manages a successful occupation, which is really frustrating. Yeah, that would be really frustrating. I think those kingdoms need to get merged, right? Like, if you can't muster enough forces to take down a behemoth, that kingdom needs to get merged, right? Thanks for the feedback. We plan to improve the dynamic difficulty of behemoths so that the difficulty scales more quickly. As the difficulty increases, players will be allowed to deploy multiple legions into the behemoth layer at the same time, giving alliances more legions to deploy in behemoth raids. Very interesting. Multiple marches per player. Well, that's one way to approach it. Instead of addressing the kingdom environment, they're addressing the behemoth environment. All right, that's one way to tackle it. We'd like for some selectable rewards to be added to the top tier of the Titan's Legacy in the Supreme, in the Season of Strife. We'll continue to add more exclusive artifacts as selectable rewards in future updates. The general plan is planned additions for 1.0.43, the Infernal Flame, Rattlespear, Visage of the Sanctus, Deathless Vines, Gold Crested Oath of the Storm Peak will become available in the Titan's Legacy events that open after the update. In 1.0.45, they add Spirit Bone, Torque, Mirage Orb, Gilded Crossbow, and the Wolf Howl Horn. Wow. After the content goes live, we plan to gradually add rewards at a rate of 2 exclusive artifacts every 4 months. And they're adding that in to the Titan's Legacy rewards. All right, now, final question. In the final phase of the Brink of War, the bow, we wish that realms would be able to catch up to the overall score by increasing the strength of their members. To enhance your combat experience in Brink of War, we plan to switch the order of Phase 2, gathering forces, and Phase 3, prepping for war. We'll also increase the points awarded from the keeping the peace and gathering forces phases. Okay, so what I think they're saying here is, isn't it boring that the whole thing is decided by Phase 2 and Phase 3 is just like you're going through the motions and it's cute but not doing anything, right? And what they said is, you're right. That order is boring. I'm paraphrasing here, obviously. We'll put the training part last, so all the excitement's at the end, and we'll try to make the other parts matter more. I'm all for that. I mean, I think that phase 3 will still be the overwhelming majority of the points, but it's a W. That's it for this developer Q&A. Cool. I think these are great changes, and I'm in the new season now, and just today, I really kind of have come to understood a bunch of stuff in this new season design. So I'm going to talk about that very, very soon in a video. So consider subscribing. Thanks again to the makers of the game for sponsoring today's video. I think this game direction is good. I think they're looking at a lot of important stuff. Particularly matchmaking really means a lot to me, but we'll see how this season goes. Honestly, I got to put more thought into how I feel this one's going to go. I don't know. Until next time. You have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.